Hari Om. Good evening to all of you. Welcome. Please come, let's pray together. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya Sahana bhavatu Sahano bhunaktu Sahaviryam karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma vedvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. O Lord, the Almighty, the Omniscient, the Omnipotent, the All-Powerful, who also has the divine names Neyaha, to such a beloved Lord, together with Shraddha, Bhakti, Prapatti, we offer our humble salutations. To seek His grace, His mercy, His blessings, His love, His compassion, His strength, His forgiveness. O Lord, bless us with the divine qualities to much greater proportion, like the Shraddha, Bhakti, Jnana, Vairagya, Prapatti, and Mumukshutva. All this is only and only to understand Thy true self and have a living first-hand experience, aparokshanubhuti of Thy true self. I beseech in You again and again that at the end of our lives, bless us that we reach Thy holy feet. Our salutations to the Guru Parampara. Om Tat Sat. Today, by the grace of the God and the Guru Parampara, we are on our Divine Discourse number 367. On the 7th of February 2024, Shobana Kratnama Samvatsara Uttarayana Hemantarutu Pushyamasa Krishna Paksha Saumyavasare Dwadashatito Purvashada Nakshatra Vajrayoge Daitulakarne. On this auspicious day of Wednesday and the auspicious time of the evening, Naham Karta Hari Preranaya Hari Prityartham. We take a vow and we keep our mind firmly established in the thought that, O Lord, it is all that you have been doing. Whatever comes to be in my life as an incident, an occasion, a circumstance, through a person, place, or an object, I fully understand and with firm faith know that you have drawn this plan only and only to uplift me from this ocean of births and deaths. I believe in you completely. I surrender to thee completely. Please bless me that I remain with this faith and devotion at all times. I accept everything with the prasada buddhi and I live in peace, devotion and bliss. Om Tat Sat. So today, while learning the verse 23, we'll get to some hardcore facts which will help us in our learning throughout. And once you have a clarity on this subject, what is the approach and what is exactly being told over here, in what manner they have been telling. So that aspect we need to get it clearly to our mind. So we'll move forward with the Shloka number 23. Now, in the previous Shloka, Lord Krishna was talking about control of the sense organs. Everywhere, again and again, it comes back to control of the mind, it comes back to control of the senses, it comes back in terms of your anger, your moha. See, these are common things. So today, let's get everything at one go and understand where we are. Okay. Now to start with the topic. In verse 23, Lord Krishna, he says, Kama krododbhavam vegam sayuktas sukhi naraha. So how a person can be sukhi in one's life? By giving up kama and krodha. Now where is he telling this? He's telling this to Arjuna right in the middle of the warfield. It's not that they're sitting on the bank of a river under a banyan tree, or they're sitting in an ashram, a serene place, or they're sitting in a temple. No. In the middle of the battlefield, he is telling Arjuna, give up anger and fight. Now, see, can you imagine what a statement this can be? Can anyone think of fighting without anger? See, to fight, you need that akrosh, what we call that, anger. And also, can anyone even think of fighting without a desire in mind? See, that desire to harm the opposite person, to win over him, and acclaim for what you have started the fight. These are the basic things which are the reason for a fight, isn't it? So he says, don't have desire, don't have anger. Now, what one can understand is only the extraordinary can do this. One can become extraordinary by doing extraordinary actions in life. This is one of the greatest psychology lessons we can understand. Reason is, why does one experience sorrow? By having a desire, and the desire not being fulfilled. That we have learnt in the previous chapters also. In the chapter number 2, verse 66, he talks about dhyayato vishayan pumsan sangasteshu pajayate sangat sanjayate kamaha kamat krodho vijayate. So he says the man who is dwelling on the sense objects, he develops some attachment for them. See, anything you think of it again and again, what it becomes a gradually, it springs up as a desire. And when that desire is not fulfilled, it ensures anger. Okay, this is psychology again. So if you are able to manage at the root level, okay, I'm not going to attach my senses to the objects of senses. There itself, if something is alluring and you turn your head over there, you look at it, and that same thing goes on in your mind. It will not leave you. As it goes on in your mind, then your attachment increases, then it comes out as a desire. So now once it is not fulfilled, krodod bhavati sammohaha, sammohat smriti vibramaha, smritir bhamshat buddhinashat pranashyati. So beautifully it has explained. From that senses being attracted to the objects and thinking again and again, you develop desire, and as you develop a desire and you work towards it and it does not get fructified, it creates anger, and anger, when it is increasing, it creates mati brashta, meaning infatuation, and from infatuation there is a confusion in your mind. From confusion of mind, there is a loss of reasoning, and from the loss of reasoning, there is complete ruin. Okay? So this way, now this is an extraordinary person who has practiced. I was telling Arjuna, you do this. First of all, you control your senses. Like, once, two Buddhist monks, they left their hermitage at dawn to reach their teacher's monastery. And they were walking together, and it was a rugged landscape going up and down the mountain. And they had maintained their vow of silence. From the time they started till they reached the hermitage or that monastery, they had decided not to talk. Now at midday, what happened? They come across a river which was quite swollen, meaning it was full of water. Sometimes what happens, shallow rivers, when there is rain in the upcountry, then there is huge amount of water, which means the river is full. Now there, they see a young woman in silk clothes who was trying to cross, but she was unsuccessful. Now here and there, she was like almost falling down and getting drowned. So now, observing her plight, the younger monk, what he does is he lifted the woman and he carried her safely across the river. And he could notice that this was not liked by the elder monk. Okay. Just after sunset, they arrived at the monastery, where they broke their silence, and the teacher welcomed them. He spoke to them about their journey. Now the elder monk was the first to speak. Master, it is forbidden for us monks to touch or even raise our eyes towards a woman. But you know what this young fellow did? We came across an attractive young woman who was trying to cross a river, and my younger brother, this young monk of ours, he actually picked her up in his arms and carried her across. Now the master turned towards the younger monk and asked, "What have you to say in answer to this? This is an accusation on you. What have you to say?" The younger monk tells the master, I put her down at the riverside. Why does my elder brother still carry her? See the control. Somebody was in trouble and you did not look at what your limitations are. You fulfilled out of humanity and compassion, and the other person was constantly thinking. So here, withdrawal of senses. That is what is spoken about over here. If you have withdrawn your senses, then it will not go to the next level of even becoming a desire. So in this way, now, Lord Krishna, he talks about in verse 23, anger can come only when there is a desire. So now let's understand that aspect. We'll first read verse 23 and then we'll go into details. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Shaknoti Haiva Yasodum Raksharira Vimokshanat Kama Krododbhavam Vegam Sayukta Sasukhi Naraha. So, desire and anger, if you see another version to this, they are nothing but a result of me and mine. The moment me and mine sets in, you are in bondage. Just this me and mine. The moment you drop me and mine, you get liberated. Who is there? Only God and God alone. So why does one get stuck in this me and mine dimensions? This is only due to the ignorance of the vast, infinite consciousness. So the one who kama krododbhavam vegam, the one who is not able to externally withstand the pressure of kama and krodha, and the one who is completely disturbed within himself by raga and dvesha and bound by ahankar and mamakar, what we call me and mine, all these happen only due to that ignorance within him. Like as in the verse 15 it was said, Ajnanena Avritam Jnanam Tena Mukhyanti Jantavaha. It is that ignorance and ignorance alone which has covered up this knowledge. So the only reason for all such things happening is purely our ignorance. And the one who crosses over such ajnana means ignorance, who transcends such ignorance, these traits like ahankara and mamakara, raga, dvesha, kama, krodha, all these will be there, but in such a way where his infinite nature is not disturbed. See, when you are a human, you have a human body, you have a human mind, you have human senses, and all these various flares of the body and mind and senses are there. But much more than that, what he has is the knowledge. Now, when we say it is there, but how does he treat these problems which we are talking of to be abandoned? Just like a person who is walking on the road, let's say. Now there are sharp pebbles on the road. Here and there are glass pieces which are fallen down. And there are thorns on the road. Now, if all these are there, one need not go on sweeping the road, clearing the road and walking. No, instead you just wear an effective pair of sandals or shoes which protect you from all these unwanted and hurting stuff. So such a person, as he just wears a good pair of sandals and shoes and is able to manage all this, in the same way, this yogi, he possesses this great weapon to fight and cross over the negative traits of life. These negative traits can be there or will be there, but in an ineffective manner. Although they are there, they will not hurt you, because you have, by knowledge, understood what it is. So such a person will attain that immortal self, that infinite self, even while living. This is the beauty of what Lord Krishna is trying to tell over here. So he says those persons are yogis who, before giving up their body, are able to check all these negative forces of desire, anger, and when they are able to do this, what happens is naturally they are peaceful and calm even while living. So here what Lord Krishna is saying is, understand you have been given a golden opportunity. What is this golden opportunity we have got? We have got a human body, a human mind, and of course the senses are there, but a mind which is with the antaranga, what we call. So antakarana, that is the intellect which is there in you, only that can understand the infinite nature of God. So what is that thing in the antakarana, that intellect? That intellect gives you the Viveka Shakti, which is the power of discrimination. And none other than a human being have got this power. So this is precisely Lord Krishna, he tells. First, know your importance. After you gain that confidence in you, yes, I am somebody who has been bestowed and who has been blessed with something which nobody else has. Once he gets that confidence, then he starts realizing his power and strength, and then he starts exercising that restraint, that impulse of all this raga, dvesha, bhaya, krodha, all this desire and anger. You know, Bhagavan Shankaracharya, in his Viveka Chudamani, he comes out beautifully and he talks about the 8 blessings what a human being has. If you understand this, carefully you go one by one as I take you through, you realize where you are now and how much more is left on your journey. This will be a very good exercise. Now, what does the shloka say? Jantonam narajanma durlabhata pumstvam tato viprata tasmat vaidika dharma marga parata vidvatvam asmat param atmanatma vivechanam sva anubhavo brahmatmana samstiti muktirnai shatakoti janma sukrutai punyai vina labhyate. Shatakoti, hundreds and thousands of crore years, a crore janma you have crossed and come, and vina punya, meaning without those extremely good deeds you would have not got a human birth. So first of all we have to understand, to get a human birth, what all we have done. Enormous amount of good work we have done, and after that we get, in this about 84 lakh species we have crossed, and after that one chance we get as a human birth. And this is the only platform Bhagavan Shankaracharya again emphasizes, that the jiva can get merged back with the self. Otherwise what happens? the Jiva has to cross over the Yuga, the Mahayuga, then the Kalpa, and then finally when you talk, the scientists talk of a black hole, the dissolution, at that time all the Jivas go into dissolution. So the blessings he talks is first level, you have got a human birth. I think we all are clear about this. We all are humans, right? Second, after Narajanma comes Pumstvam. Pumstvam means basically it is translated as a male or a manhood. Basically manhood, not male. What is the meaning of manhood? That courage to understand the truth. If somebody says, what is spirituality? They tell you are not you. Then he says, I don't want to listen to this nonsense, because the mind fears such thoughts. So that manhood which somebody has got. So it could be that a woman has got this manhood, or even a man can be like who has got more of that woman tendency to get back. He does not have that courage. So second is Pumstvam. If we all are learning at such great depth, second level is also clear for us. Third one is Viprata, having sattvic qualities in life, wanting to practice good things, wanting to do the right things. And then the fourth blessing comes is Vaidika Dharma Marga Parata. So here, being on the path of righteousness as per the Veda. See, a manual is given to us, like as we have the constitution. If any crime is committed, what does the advocate do? He refers the IPC, Indian Penal Code. Now that is a code of conduct which has been given. And anything else, you refer to the Civil Act. So when a human person has to lead a life of sattvic nature or of dharma or righteousness, what is the code for us? The Vedas are the code for us. So now, which we have already started studying, fourth level is crossed. Fifth blessing, what do we have? Do you have the correct understanding and knowledge of the scriptures and the deep significance as prescribed by the Vedas? Let's ask ourselves. Yes, I am understanding. I have been studying carefully, diligently, religiously. I understand what is the significance of the Vedas. You have crossed this fifth level also. Now this sixth level comes as Atma Anatma Vivechanam. Meaning, after your studies or during your studies of Veda, are you able to differentiate the true self and the not your true self? Are you able to differentiate that? Now, this is a place where many get stuck. One may have enough knowledge, correct understanding of the Vedas, the scriptures, the dharma, adharma, everything, but when it comes to Atma and Anatma, you get a little fumbled over there. Now, while I'm explaining this, I will tell you how to differentiate that. Bhagavan Shankaracharya's one of the first four disciples, Padmapadacharya. Now, he differentiates what is Atma and what is Anatma. And he puts it in a very simple term, Anidam Chaitanyam. Anidam Chaitanyam. Meaning, what is Chaitanyam? Anidam. Not this, meaning that is Chaitanyam. So meaning, now you talk of anything, you say this person, this world, this body, this mind. So which is not this, that becomes consciousness. Do you need a better way of understanding this? In simple terms, anything, this sky, this animal, this bird, wherever it is objectified, it comes under Anatma. Very simple. Anidam Chaitanyam. And in one of the Upanishads it is spoken as Yadrushtam Tajjadam Tannashwaram. That is Anatma again. Yadrushtam meaning whatever you can see. Tajjadam, that is Jada, inert. And that inert is eventually Nashwaram. It is going to be destroyed, Nashwara. Now you see for yourself, right from the sun, the moon, the earth, the trees, the planets, the stars, everything have got a life. Up to where? Up to our own body. So, Yadrishyam Tajjadam Tannashwaram. This is one to say what is Anatma, and also to say what is Atma is, as I said, Anidam Chaitanyam. Whatever is not this, that is Chaitanya. So I think if we had no clarity, now we have got clarity of the sixth blessing also. Correct? Now, seventh blessing. Direct experience. Now you have listened to so much about the Vedas, the Creator, the created, you have listened to bondage, you have listened to moksha. Now, are you experiencing that Paramatma or that Atma within yourself? Are you able to experience what you have learnt? Now, this is the one step where we are again and again praying. I need to experience this knowledge. And after this seventh, eighth blessing is, are you firmly established in that? That's it. So once you get seventh blessing, it may come in tranches, small duration. It may come and again it will go away. Then again it will come, it will go away. But the moment you are able to focus on it again and again, then what happens? You will be established in it. As the saying goes, it says, anything the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. This is a very simple logic of the mind. Anything the mind can conceive. You conceived now. We are getting this information. Conceive it. And then believe it. Have that faith. Believe it. Which means it can achieve. The mind can achieve this. So what we need to do here is, we need to understand that first give that knowledge to the mind. And once you have given that fantastic knowledge to the mind, stay put with that knowledge. Don't go here and there with that. Continuously keep telling your mind, yes, I need to achieve this. Yes, I need to achieve this. And the more and more you think about this, that is known as manana. And in deep meditation, you allow that thought to go into your mind. And as I have told in the past, ensure that these subtle thoughts has to be when you are going to sleep. You already hit the pillow. Think of this and allow that to go into your subconscious mind. So what happens when you go to sleep, this subconscious takes it properly. And when you get up, immediately do the same exercise. Before even you can think of anything else, for the first 2, 3, 4 minutes, just keep thinking on this. You may be still lying down on the bed. You need not get up also. Allow this to again soak in your subconscious. And then you will see, even though you are not working on it, that does the magic. It works continuously within yourself. So here, what the Lord says is, you have to understand with this faculty of discrimination, emphasize that power what you have got, and restrain your impulses of desire and anger. Now see, kama means what he has told here, it is supposed to be lust, desire. And in an exaggerated form, it is lust. But here, what it means is, kama means all the kinds, the desires of the body and the mind for various pleasures, all kinds. It is not only lust per se. So, and as we know, when we don't get what we want to get, we normally, what happens is anger comes out. And if you want to understand the intensity of that desire, see the intensity of the anger. If the person is extremely desirous of a particular object or a person or a place, if that desire is disturbed, the anger will be proportionate. So here you can compare it to the current of a river. That is what Lord says. And these urges of desire, how it has to be controlled, desire and anger, he says, don't control it out of embarrassment. Like for example, you are sitting in the airport. There's somebody next to you who opens up a biscuit packet and that person is eating. Now imagine it is one of your favorite biscuits and you are damn hungry. Imagine you just put a hand, you don't even know that person, you have not spoken to that person, you put your hand and you pick up a biscuit and you eat. What happens? It is embarrassing. So out of shame or out of embarrassment, don't restrain yourself. You will know what he will do at best. He will give me a look. He will scold me. That's all, no? But not on those lines. That is embarrassment. Not for the sake of embarrassment, but with the discrimination on the knowledge, not with fear or apprehension. Use your discrimination power. I'm not a dog here. How can I just put my hand in somebody's packet and take food or biscuits, whatever it is? That discrimination you have to use. So that intellect, once it is alert, then it will start telling, what, have you gotten mad? What are you trying to aim in life? Look for something higher. You're not that cheap. When your intellect has to tell that mind, and there you have to bring things under control. So Srimad Bhagavatam tells us a very good concept here. He says, Nayam deho deha bhajam riloke kashtan kaman arate vid bhujam ye tapo divyam putraka yena sattvam shuddhed yasmat brahma saukyam tvanantam. He says, in this human form, one should not undertake great hardships. We all take great hardships for what? To obtain sensual pleasures. Because he says, which are available even to creatures that eat excreta. When he's saying pig, it eats excreta. Even they also put in lot of efforts to gain sensual pleasures. So he says, the Bhagavatam says, instead one should practice austerities to purify one's heart, like as we do japa, we do yatra, and we do seva, we do dana. All these are to purify one's heart, and then you enjoy the bliss, the unlimited bliss of God. So this way, the Bhagavatam tells us, you are no different than the pig which is eating excreta. If you are only chasing pleasure, this is what your true, this is what your definition of a human would be. So now coming back to understand, first is control of the sensual pleasures. Then by that automatically comes the desire, and then thereby comes a control over the krodha, anger. I tell you, there's a beautiful story in the Bhagavatam which talks about anger. Now, it so happens that Parikshit, King Parikshit, Raja, he has gone on a hunting spree, and while chasing a deer, he lost his way. He was with, of course, with his battalion and all that. And he lost his way. Now, overcome with thirst and hunger and fatigue, he was wandering here, there, and in that hot summer, he was not able to find his place. Finally, he sees an ashram at a distance. He hurriedly goes to that place. He went inside, and he's the king of that province, that entire, not province of that entire, you can call it of the whole world, meaning the planet. Now he enters the ashram and he shouts for someone, but he found that everything was empty over there. So he's walking around that place, and then finally he sees a rishi, a Muni, a rishi, who was deep in meditation. Now his eyes were closed, and he had completely withdrawn his senses, and his breath was absolutely calm, and in a way he was oblivious to the world around him. That was his state in deep meditation. Now his hair was matted and he was wearing the skin of a deer. Now the king spoke to him. Yes, I want some water. No response. Multiple times he asked, again and again, I want water. And he found that the rishi, he was keen in maintaining his silence. Now his mind is clouded by that physical anguish. And also his ego is hurt by that indifference which he found in that rishi. So eventually he lost his temper. Because see, that ego comes, he loses his temper. He looked around, and there what he does, he sees a dead snake over there lying on the ground. He takes that snake, and in that state of anger in his mind, Parikshit Raja, now he lifts that dead snake and with the tip of his bow, and he places it on the neck of the rishi, and he walks away. Now, Shamika is the name of that great rishi. He still does not wake up from his trance. This Shamika had a young son by name Shringi. So some of his playmates from a distance, they see this and they go and talk to Shringi, who was playing there. He says, you think of yourself, so high, but now the time has come where you have to swallow your pride. Since you are after all the son of a man who carries corpses, because now his father is carrying a dead snake, isn't it? So Shringi was so annoyed with him, he glared at him. Now while he is glaring, the friends are laughing because he has already told the condition of his father about the dead snake which was placed around his neck by the king of the country. Now young Rishi, his anger now was uncontrollable. He comes there and he says, this arrogant king has insulted my father. I will punish him. And he gives a shrap. A week from today, the deadliest of the serpents, Takshaka, will sting him and he will die. See, that is the power even these children had, because they had done that kind of tapas and austerities. He then rushed to his father's presence and he cried aloud. Now his voice aroused, the rishi from samadhi, because he was deep in samadhi. He opened his eyes and he saw the dead snake on his shoulders. He just pushes it casually aside and he said, my son, why are you crying? Did anyone hurt you? Shringi told him. See, now Shringi, what had happened to him? Friends laughed at him. He got angry. He has given a curse. Still they are all laughing at him. He comes here and Shringi told him what had happened, and he also told him about cursing the king. Shamika got angry now with his son for such an hasty action. He said, in this anger, you have cursed a good man. He said, you are young and you do not know how to restrain yourself. You are actually indeed rash. Why did you curse that king? And he says, who is the best among men? See, although whatever has happened to the Rishi, Shamika, but he says the king is the best among men. And do you know that how righteous he is as a king? Because he was hungry and thirsty, and again because I did not answer his questions, he threw the snake on my neck in sheer disgust. It was a child's gesture, I understand. It was childish, absolutely childish. And this is not the reason enough for you to pronounce such a dreadful curse on him. And he further elaborates, this Paurava king, has been called as Vishnu Ratha because the Lord himself protected him when he was in his mother's womb. Because of him, the world is protected from the threat of Kali. You have made the earth lose her very precious son because of your impulsiveness and anger. So he immediately tells his son, I order you right now, you go and perform tapas until you learn self-control, because without which no knowledge will stay in your mind. So now that you have cursed the good king, then he says, in which case he will have to die. Let me at least go and warn him of this impending doom which is going to pounce on him in a short while. So this way now the king, he had already gone to his kingdom. He also felt, after having reached the kingdom, unhappy, what a stupid action I did. I committed an unpardonable sin and all that. And in that frame of mind, when he was there, then a disciple comes in and he tells him about whatever curse has been given. Now, what we can see here is anger. First caused by Parikshit Raja, where such a great saint with so much of power, strength, noble qualities, but see how when you are thirsty, hungry, meaning you desire something. Thirst is again a desire, hunger is again a desire. Now that causes krodha, fatigue, it causes krodha. So one has to be extremely careful at such times. So how we can get completely dissuaded? Because how are we created? Now let's go by, I was talking about the semantic tree. Now what is this semantic tree system? Now we are coming to extremely hardcore facts in terms of what we are trying to learn here is, now the basics of Vedanta. In a nutshell, now we are going to learn about this. Ekam Advitiya Brahma. Okay? God and God alone is the only truth in this entire universe. Now this is all the Mahavakyas are talking about this. Now under the semantic tree method, which once several people ask Elon Musk, we understand if somebody is good at some subject, but how can a person be good in several subjects? So then at that point, Elon Musk, he says, I follow this semantic tree method of learning. Now, what is that method? A Greek word, sementosis, means significant, important, crucial. So whenever we are learning something, catch hold of that crucial aspect. And till the end of your learning, don't leave the crucial aspect. Connect everything to the crucial aspect. So when I was studying this, I was trying to understand when they talk about Ekam Advitiya Brahma, which means then whatever we listen to, or we perceive with our senses, or we think with our mind, or we undertake with our body, means what? It is nothing other than that one truth, supreme reality. So now once today, if you get this knack, then anything which is being told to us In fact, it will take us in a robust way towards achieving what we want to achieve. Okay, so now Parabrahma, the Supreme Almighty, Supreme Reality. Now what it did with its Maya Shakti, it created Ishvara, and with the same Maya Shakti, it created the Jivas. It created the world and it created the inert objects as well. Along with the Jivas, meaning it's not only humans, all that which has got life on this planet. And not only this one world, it created the solar system, millions and millions and millions of stars, galaxies, Andromedas. Now it created on these lines. Coming back to a human being, what it did, his own amsha is in each and every human being. Okay? He brought it to a point that he gave that, let's talk of the entire living creatures. On one side we have the human being, and on the other side we have the non-human beings, the rest of the 83,99,999. Okay? All of them, what he did, he put them on an autopilot mode. They have got no intellect, they have got a mind, they have got senses, and they have got a body, and everything goes on an autopilot from the birth till the death. In the same way he has done a human, but that one small portion of intellect he has given. Now that is that window of opening he himself has kept. Why? Because he wants to release some human souls from this bondage. That's all. Now, the game starts. We as a human being, if we have an intellect, and of course we have the mind and senses, now there is a chance which he has given for us to discriminate and understand God, that reality. But with the help of Maya, he has created two more powers, Avarana Shakti and Vikshepa Shakti. Avarana means he has hidden. Now if I hold my hand like this, my face cannot be seen. I have covered my face. Although it is right in front of you, you cannot see. Avarana. So he has put that veil of ignorance. You are not going to understand this. And Vikshepa. Vikshepa means he is projecting the entire creation as real. So the truth he has hidden, and on top of hiding the truth, what he has done is he has projected this entire world, objects of the senses, everything in this creation which gives you that feeling of reality. Now, Ishvara Anugraha Deva Pumsan Advaita Vasana. He himself says that with my Krupa, all these human beings what I have created, I start giving them this knowledge. What knowledge? Atma Jnana. Saying what? I remove the veil. What is observed? Now, as I have kept my hand, I remove my hand, you can see the face. So in the same way, that veil of ignorance, what is there between we as humans and the reality, he removes it. So we can experience that Lord. And then what he does, that Vikshepa, that projection which he has done towards the entire world and creation, he slowly starts diffusing it. That projection is no more there. On one side the projection is withdrawn, and on the other side the avarana which is there, the screen is up. Now what happens? Earlier what your senses were doing? All your senses were only moving outward. By seeing this, that Vikshepa Shakti, when it is going down, meaning the senses are gathered, and then which were moving outward, they are gathered and they dive deep within. And who does this? The Lord and Lord alone does this. So if we are constantly thinking of what this Lord's game is, this is the semantic approach. You yourself have said, no? Ekam Advitiya Brahma. Nothing is there other than me. I catch hold of that. And I only stay in that knowledge. I'm not going to talk of anything else. So in this way, now this Jiva, it understands, oh my God, everything is the Lord and Lord alone. Like say, in so many places in the Gita, now apart from this also, Yomam pashyati sarvatra sarvacha mai pashyati tasyaham na pranashyami sachamena pranashyati. He says, for those who see me everywhere and see all things in me, I am never lost, nor they are lost to me. Okay? This was told in the 6th chapter's 30th verse. And then he comes to the 7th chapter's 7th verse. Matta parataram nasti nanyat kinchid asti dhananjayaha mai sarvamidam protam sutre manigana iva. So in 7th chapter 7th verse, he talks, there is nothing higher than myself, O Arjuna. Everything rests in me as beads which are strung onto a thread. Then further again he talks about 7th verse 26th shloka. Vedaham samitani vartamanani charjuna. He says, oh Arjuna, I know of past, I know of the present, and I know of the future, and I also know all living beings, but me no one knows. Okay? So till the time the Lord decides, I am not going to release this soul from bondage, we can do nothing. But the moment Ishvara Krupa comes on us, which is very evident now, it has already come. We have to only be here. If somebody is giving something, you have to at least keep your hands in this way, isn't it? Otherwise, if that person is putting in our hands and we don't hold our palm, meaning what happens? It falls on the ground. So now that much little effort we have to do. And what we have to think, God and God alone is there. Then what happens with this? That me and mine will automatically die. You don't have to remind yourself that God is doing everything through me. Because when you again and again think, Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam. He says to those minds which are always united with me in loving devotion, I give this divine knowledge by which they can attain me. So he tells this in the 10th verse, 10th shloka. See? Then again in the same chapter, 11th verse, he says, Tesham eva kampartham aham ajnana jam tamaha. Meaning he says, out of compassion for them, I who dwell within their hearts, I destroy the darkness, born of ignorance. With what? With that luminous lamp of knowledge. How many places again and again he tells the same thing, so which we have to, this is all related to that. Yes, he is saying that I am that only person. Don't get confused. What is this Jiva? What is this Atma? Where do I find that Atma? No. Just know that whatever is there is that God and God alone. And Aham Atma Gudakesha Sarva Bhutashayastitaha Aham Adishcha Madhyamcha Bhutanamancha Evacha. He says, Arjuna, I am that universal self seated in the heart of every being. So I alone am the beginning, the middle, and also the end of all beings. See? And he promises While he's saying this, he also promises, Manmana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishyasi yuktvaivam atmanam matparayana. He says, just place your mind, fix your mind on me, be devoted to me, worship me and make obeisance to me. Thus, if you are linking yourself with me and me alone and entirely depending on me, you shall come to me. And he further says, Mame Vaishyasi Pratijane Priyosime. He says, I truly promise you, for you are exceptionally dear to me. Why? Because you are again devoted to me. What is the meaning of devotion? Constantly think of the Lord. Just keep chanting simple Om Namo Narayanaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Jai Ram Shri Ram, Om Namah Shivaya. Bas, you don't have to even go in an elaborate method of, talking of great things. No. And he says, Sarvasya Chaham Hridhi Sannivishtaha Mattasmriti Jnanam Apohanancha. He says, I who remain seated in the heart of all creatures, as the inner controller of all creatures, sources of energy, knowledge and reasoning, he talks about this. Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Hriddeshe Arjuna Tishtati Brahmayan Sarva Bhutani Yantra Rudhani Mayaya. Arjuna, God resides in the heart of all the creatures, causing them to revolve or resolve according to their karmas by his Maya, as though mounted on a machine. So understand one thing, all humans are just hypnotized by ignorance. We all have come hypnotized by that Ajnana, where I said he has two powers. He has veiled it, Avarana, Vikshepa, he has projected something else. See, it is contrast. First of all, showing you a wrong way. Okay, you have shown somebody the wrong route, and then on the top of it, what you say, you have explained to the other person so well that now this is the right route and you will reach your destination as quickly as possible. So this way, ignorance is hypnotization, which is by default to every jiva. Now this knowledge comes as a dehypnotization. So the knowledge what we are gaining here, that rare privilege what we have got, the more and more we think of him, everything will be resolved. Don't get into confusion. Know him and him alone to be everything. That knowledge is dehypnotization. Just get dehypnotized now. And what way? Like as we learnt, karmani akarmaya pashet. Now in every action, what am I doing? Nothing. It's Lord who is doing everything. Then kama sankalpa varjita, we are devoid of all desires. Why should I create desires in me? If at all anything comes, it is he and he alone will allow the desire to come, and he will allow the desire to subside also. Tektva karma phala sangam. Having given up the idea of even agency and attachment to the results of action. Nirashihi, who does not crave for any results. Yadruchala vasantushtaha. He is completely satisfied by anything that comes in his way. It comes, it doesn't come. Good. What have I got to do here? Sama siddho asiddho, who has transcended from dualities of success and failure. Gata sangasya muktasya, he says, who has got rid of attachment from everything. All this can happen when you realize that it is the Lord and Lord alone who is in this entire universe. There will be no anger, there will be no fear, there will be no jealousy, there will be no hatred, there will be no competition. Because now what a sadhak, like as it is told in the 5th chapter, what we learned, 8th verse, Naiva kinchit karomi iti yukte manyeta tattvavita. This person, yogi, steadfast in this knowledge of karma yoga, he always thinks what? I am not the doer. Even while engaged in talking, listening, seeing, eating, sleeping, breathing, that we have learnt of all the activities of the sense organs and the organs of action and the mind. Even though everything is happening, he has got that steadfast knowledge. Just have that steadfast knowledge. Cultivate it. When you cultivate such a kind of knowledge, then what happens to you? You will be in such a state where you are completely again and again thinking that, oh, it is God and God alone who has done all this. I have got nothing to do. This should get established in our mind. Automatically that me and mine, or I and mine, will dissolve. The moment I and mine is dissolved, because as you saw, the crux here is what? It is God and God alone who is everything. Then why did I bring in that I? That became because of Ajnana. How does that Ajnana go now? With the knowledge that it is God and God alone. So to get that, where do I go? You don't have to go anywhere. It is right there within you. It is known as Praptasya Prapti. Like for example, sometimes, we have kept our key. Somewhere we have kept in this pocket, or we have hung it somewhere on our body, and we are searching everywhere. Then when somebody tells you, yes, it is there in so and so place on your body, oh, you immediately, you feel happy about it. You take it and you said, yes. Now, did you go anywhere to achieve anything? Apraptasya prapti means what? Where, like say you want to buy a car. You will not get it just like that. You will have to go to a showroom, you will have to negotiate the price, you will have to make the payment, and then you will have to go and take the delivery. Even if you want to buy a cell phone also, it is not going to be, it will not come and fall in your lap just like that. Apraptasya, you need to put in efforts to get something which is not there. But here, praptasya prapti, to get something what you already have, you have to just know where it is, that's it. Know about it. So it is just that ignorance has to be driven. Like many times, Japmala is on our around our neck, but it has gone back, let's say. And we are searching, where is Japmala? Somebody comes and it pulls it. It is here. Oh, it is here. Praptasya, because it was already there. So in the same way that Atma is there within us, we don't have to do any special effort to achieve it. Just to know. Knowledge. Now, I'll tell you how this cricket match can be compared to our life. Our jivan, our entire jivana, what we call, is our life. Now, understand the cricket field to be a karma kshetra, a human birth. Okay. Now, what happens in the cricket field? A game is going on. So for a human birth, what is there? His life is going on. Now, who is the batsman? Jiva is the batsman. Who is the bowler? Maya is the bowler. How many balls are there in 1 over? 6 balls. Shadrupu is there. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. So every ball, the Maya, who is the bowler, is throwing a Shadrupu at you. It throws Kama at you, desire. Then it throws anger at you. Then it throws Lobha, greed. So this way, every ball, these Shadripus are being thrown on you. Now, there are 10 fielders who are in the field. They are the 5 Jnanendriyas and the 5 Karmendriyas. Now, what is your job? Your job is to protect the wickets behind you. You have got 3 wickets there. 3 stumps. Now those stumps are Bhakti, Jnana and Vairagya. And what are those 2 bales on the top? Prapti and Prapatti and Mumukshutva. Now these 5 things are there, which this Maya, with this Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsara is trying to hit this. And if it is out, you're back in bondage. Its job is to ensure that you get out. You are not going to get this bhakti, jnana, vairagya, prapatti and mumukshutva. It just wants to keep you away from it. And then there are two umpires. One is the Yamaraja and the Chitragupta. And there is a third umpire who is the Paramatma. Now, whenever you hit a run, that is your resistance to temptations. Those sense pleasures, compare it to that. You always have to keeping a good score of your runs. The more and more runs you do, is you're getting punya. You're having a good track record. But if the ball, the Shadripu hits this bhakti, jnana, vairagya, prapatti and mumukshutva, you are declared out. What happens when you're out? You're back into samsara. And let's say you have got a good score. You have resisted many times, which means you have got a good score or runs in your account. So you are selected for the next match, meaning with that punya, you get a nice proper janma to once again achieve what you want. And if you have a bad score, which is papa, what we call, you are kept as an extra outside. And if it is much more bad, then they will tell you, you are not even taken as an extra, you are kicked out of the team. Then there is no human life. You will have a degraded life. So this is how here we have to understand. Now we have got the complete bird's eye view of what the God is talking about. Let's not try to be too much into trying to get into understanding of this. Just know it's God and God alone. Any thought comes to you, it is God and God alone. Any difficulty comes to you, it is God and God alone. Any good thing happens to you, it is God and God alone. So know that everything is nothing but God and God alone. Keep telling your mind again and again. So anything the mind can conceive and it has to believe, it can achieve. That's it. First conceive and believe it, and then you will see you have achieved it. You will have to make no extra effort to know that you are not the doer. You will have to make no extra effort to be connected to that Almighty. It will be a very casual thing which will keep happening to you in a very casual way. Now initially you have to make effort. Remember the story where a boatsman from the shore, how much of effort he has to put to bring the boat into the mainstream. With his long stick he rows. He pulls the boat from the shore, and once it enters the mainstream, he sits there and he has a puff. He smokes there. Jolly well he smokes. In the same way, initially we have to put all this hard effort of conceiving and believing. And this conceiving and believing, it eventually becomes our established knowledge. So, by the grace of the Almighty, we all again and again be devotedly attached to Him, lovingly attached to Him, and realize that we are none other than Him. Thank you. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Idam Namo. So we go back to the Vishnu Sahasranama, which is, we are on the 43rd verse, 398th Nama, Neyaha. Ramo viramo virajo margo neyo nayo nayah Veera shaktimatam shreshtaha dharmo dharma viduttamaha. So under this 398. Neha means the guide, the conductor. He who guides and ultimately takes the seeker to the reality is Lord Narayana, the Saguna Brahman. Through surrender to Narayana, the devotee develops the integration within, and when fully integrated, he becomes the meditator, and through meditation, the highest is achieved. Therefore, Vishnu is indicated here as the conductor. The term can also mean one who is fit to be conducted to the highest. The individual ego, that is the jiva, is that which tries to realize its own real nature, the self, the Atman. So the very individuality, the jiva, who is fit to be led towards the gateway to a higher consciousness, is the one that has removed its false attachments and is held in animated joy in meditation. In essence, such a jiva is nothing other than the Supreme, and therefore the Supreme is thus called the jiva. What a perfect match. What we discussed today is coming as, see, the prasada. Can you understand how grace can flow? And in the Upanishad, what does it say? Brahmavit brahmaiva bhavati. So that Lord and Lord alone is the jiva. Because it doesn't have the knowledge, it behaves like a jiva, which is running towards the world with its senses and objects of senses. So to such a Lord, who is the controller, the conductor, the guide, such a Neyaha, we offer our humble salutations and again seek its grace, blessings. Om Tat Sat. Let's chant the Dhanvantari mantra. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshanaaya Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrutagalashahastaya Sarvabhaya Vinashaya Sarvaroga Nivaranaya Trailokyapataye Trailokyanidhaye Shri Mahavishnu Swarupa Shri Dhanvantari Swarupa Shri 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 Aushadha Chakra Narayanaya Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshanaaya Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrutagalashahastaya Sarvabhaya Vinashaya Sarvaroga Nivaranaya Trailokyapataye Trailokyanidhaye Shri Mahavishnu Swarupa Shri Dhanvantari Swarupa Shri 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 Aushadha Chakra Narayanaya Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshanaaya Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrutagalashahastaya Sarvabhaya Vinashaya Sarvaroga Nivaranaya Trailokyapataye Trailokyanidhaye Shri Mahavishnu Swarupa Shri Dhanvantari Swarupa Shri 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 Aushadha Chakra Narayanaya Swaha. Om Shri Krishna Arpanamastu Idam Namama. Om Tat Sat. As we discussed, the secret is we need to subdue our mind, and along with subduing our mind, automatically our senses, are also subdued. So now let's sit comfortably. Your neck and spine in a straight line. Completely relax your forehead, your face, your neck, your shoulders. Relax your upper body. Relax your entire body and mind. Do a few anulom vilom or just deep breathing. Inhale and exhale as deep as you can. Now bring your attention to the prana. Now slowly shift your attention to the mind. You are that which is observing the prana. You are that which is observing the mind. Now, within the mind, observe the thoughts. Without being judgmental, knowing very well that you are different from the mind and the thoughts. Just observe as a witness. Know that the awareness within you is nothing but the reflection of the consciousness, which is the Paramatma. The body, the mind, the prana are all associated with this reflection. and the Aham Bhava within the mind has considered that reflection to be its own property and living in the framework of the body, mind, and senses, using the reflected consciousness, interacting with the world and the sense objects, plays the game of life. Eventually, with the grace of Ishvara, this reflected consciousness, which had associated with the body and mind, realizes that it is just a reflection of the superconsciousness. The body, mind, senses are all inert. And that superconsciousness is the only and only absolute truth. So, which means the whole reflected consciousness associated with the body, mind, and senses and the world is all nothing but an appearance in that consciousness. Just as like one can dream and create a world, whatever one sees in the world, in the dream, are nothing but appearances. They were not there, but they are a mere appearance. Whatever one sees on a silver screen are just mere appearances. They are not there on the screen. In the same way, the Atman realizes that it has got nothing to do with the body, mind, and senses. It is just an appearance. It is just a reflection. And the one and only truth is the pure consciousness. Slowly bring your attention to the prana. Become aware of yourself. The hypnotized jiva. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat मुच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरि ओम तत्सत् श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरवे नमः। Rub your palm, place it on your eyes. Slowly and gently open your eyes. Together, we offer our humble salutations to the Almighty. Naham karta hari preranaya hari prit. Shri Krishna arpanamastu idam namama. Om Tatsat. We offer today's Gita Jnana Yajna at the lotus feet of the Almighty. Seek His grace, mercy, and blessings. Shri Krishna arpanamastu idam namama.